This is Sony's ultra-wide, ultra-fast for ultra-wide, 14mm f1.8 G Master. It isn't a focal length I've used before, nor is it one I will likely use again anytime soon, but credit where credit is due. Sony has done it again, and I did have fun with it.
Another broken plate, another called off date. We never seem to get it right. Another heart attack, words that we can't take back. We are the reason opposites attract. Once you slam the door on the second floor, I regret it all. When I think it through, I can't help the way I feel for you. You make me lose my mind like all the time. It still feels right. Stuck in an endless fight like every night. It still feels right. Even the worst can sleep, I wouldn't change a thing. 'Cause without you everything means nothing. You make me lose my mind like all the time. It still feels right.
Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant, and in this quick take video, I will just cut to the chase. Sony's 14mm f1.8 is Sony's state-of-the-art circa 2021, yet another signpost on the road to the inescapable conclusion that Sony's ambition to overtake Canon as the #1 camera company remains undiminished. It is very fast for a lens this wide, yet it's very sharp across the frame, even wide open. B, it's dramatically smaller and lighter than the only other direct competitor of which I'm aware, Sigma's own 14-1.8. We're talking about 3/4 of Sigma's volume and less than half its weight. C, it's priced the same as that Sigma. It's got surer autofocus, and it's got a declickable aperture ring, ideal for true hybrid shooting. But like every other lens ever made, it ain't perfect. Before we get into that, however, a few reminders from our friendly neighborhood department of Crass Commercialism. First, we continue to offer our one-on-one video sessions. I meet such nice and interesting people this way to help with portfolio reviews, gear selection, or honing one's artistic voice. Hop over to www.3bmep.com/booking to learn more. Second, we have a very limited number of our Streets of New York the book left. It's 85 pages of street photography and street portraiture taken in my favorite city on earth, home of my birth, over the 2 years just preceding the pandemic. So if you miss New York City like we do, it's a great place to get your fill by hopping over to www.3bmep.com/books. Finally, for official 3BMEP swag, including Hold That Thought and logo clothing, stickers, and other accessories, visit our merch shop at 3bmep.threadless.com. However you choose to support us, we thank you for it. So the 14-1.8 G Master is a technological tour de force, but where does this $1,600 460-gram optic fall short? It is soft at the minimum focusing distance of 27 centimeters, although fair enough, you don't buy a lens like this for macro shots. And there is more chromatic aberration than I'd like. Unobtrusive to most, easy enough to correct in post when it comes to photography, just plain annoying to me personally and basically impossible to correct when it shows up in video. Finally, its front element is so large and convex that you can't use screw-in filters. You have to cut your own gels to shape specifically for the filter holder located at the rear of the lens. For me, too much futzing. But for those of you who need what it does, it's a reasonable trade-off. Net-net, call the 14-1.8 another stellar optic, a halo product, but also very much a niche product. So who is it for? No surprise, I think the highest expression of its capabilities is as a tool for astrophotography, and yeah, I've got a thing for this now, blue hour video shooters. It will also find interest among architectural photographers, although at that point, I think its highest expression will be A, interiors where vertical coverage is maybe more important than horizontal coverage, because if one makes maximal use of the horizontal field of view in particular, My aesthetic sensibility tells me the distortion at the edges of the frame becomes too extreme. Thank you, Jeff, for pointing out the use case to me. B. Darkened interiors, say restaurants, clubs, landmark buildings, ruins, where keeping the ISO as low as possible is important, and, owing to the lens's ultra-wide field of view, the depth of field achievable is so spectacular, even wide open, that at a focusing distance of just over 12 feet, the lens's hyperfocal distance at 1.8, everything will be in focus from 6 feet to infinity. Or C. Exteriors with the attributes of either use case I've just mentioned. Those instances when you want a taller field of view and or need that bright maximum aperture to keep ISO tamed, though it has to be said, professional architectural photographers know how to light and know how to use swings, tilts, and shifts. Which is not to say that this G-Master won't also find favor with landscape fans for the dramatic skies, for example, that wider fields of view can provide. It's just that, unless you intend shooting in low light while getting as close to base ISO as possible, one typically doesn't need a 1.8 maximum aperture for landscapes. You have the luxury of using a slow shutter speed. Nor, for that matter, does one need 14mm. 16 is just fine. As for me personally, clearly I respect this lens, but I found it just too wide for my sensibilities. It doesn't speak to me, which is fine. I'm used to being a statistical outlier, even if I did have fun with it, as you saw at the outset. That's it, really. As I said, one more data point toward the inexorable conclusion that, and let me go into a little detail here, while Nikon gives us the best value prime lens lineup in the market today, optically brilliant, moderately fast, affordable, bread and butter focal length primes, Canon, I think it's fair to say, continues to push us toward their relatively expensive L primes and zooms while reluctantly giving us anything we might want for less and then making sure they're not particularly attractive, like their $200 50mm 1.8. Panasonic slowly releases high-quality, equally expensive full-frame Holy Trinity zooms. 3 of their 4 announced moderately fast, moderately priced, optimized for video, bread and butter, yet quite performant full-frame 1.8 primes. And finally, a single new lens for the Micro Four Thirds line, the 25-50 f1.7 brother of their superb 10-25 1.7. Leica also slowly unveils what I think is the greatest cost-no-object prime lens line ever developed, their Apo-Summicron SL f2 primes. Fuji accelerates the refresh of its APS-C and medium format lens lines. Sigma and Tamron continue to deliver exceptional value, Sigma emphasizing optical performance and joy in hand, Tamron seeming to focus less on joy and more on value, and up-and-coming lens makers like Viltrox, Loa, TT Artisan, and others continue to release value-priced glass that do have their fans. Sony continues their quest to unseat Canon as the apex camera company by proving they can do anything Canon can do, including 1.2s, faster for less. Color me impressed, even if I still don't love their industrial design, menu system, and how much chromatic aberration and focus breathing they allow in even some of their more expensive lenses. But, oh well, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. If you like what you've seen here today, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, join the conversation below, because this is an incredible audience. If you'd like a copy of our Streets of New York, the book, head over to www.3bmep.com/books. If you'd like to schedule a one-on-one video session with me for a portfolio review, explore or hone your artistic voice, select gear, and more, sign up at www.3bmep.com/booking. Finally, consider supporting our work by using our no-cost-to-you affiliate links down below, picking up some official Three Blind Men and an Elephant swag at 3bmep.threadless.com, sending coffee money via PayPal, or best of all, join us as a patron over at Patreon. However you choose to support us, as always, we thank you for it.